Let's go ahead and talk about some of the guys that didn't perform so well.
Pooped in his big boy pants.
How long do we muse on Peyton Manning?
I don't know, Jason.
All right. So here's what you do with Peyton Manning immediately. If he's on your team, you put together a package trade. And
No one's trading for Peyton Manning.
So, I promise you, I promise the listeners, someone is trading for Peyton Manning. There is something inside of you that goes, well, now you're not trading for Peyton. That's why I say a package deal. Because there's something that says, well, he could be. He's Peyton Manning. I mean, there's a part of me somewhere that goes, do I try to pick him up like for nothing? But I don't want him on my roster.
I got a trade for you. Eddie Lacy, Peyton Manning for Chris Ivory.
There you go. I mean, you're telling me the Chris Ivory owner wouldn't take that?
I would not. I would slap you in the face with
I
that
know
offer.
that you wouldn't. But you're telling me that the average Eddie Lacy,
Two big old
the
names?
average
That's what I mean.
The average Chris Ivory
Maybe,
owner
yeah,
would not
maybe.
take Eddie Lacy and Peyton Manning for Chris Ivory. They might, but that's the point. Is it's a huge name, and so don't drop him. I hear a lot of is Peyton Manning worthy of being dropped? Absolutely. Should you drop him? Absolutely not. Take a guy and just, if you're gonna drop him anyways, take a middle of the pack running back or wide receiver that you got, package him with Peyton Manning, and offer him for a little bit better running back or wide receiver. You'll get him, then you're open your roster spot for waivers. That's what you do with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I can agree with trying that.
Three interceptions.
I'm not as confident that you'll be able to trade him, but because I had said if he sucks against Cleveland, who is
50% basically passing completion percentage.
That was a fantastic matchup for a quarterback. That's back-to-back fantastic matchups that he has failed in. There's not a situation where I feel comfortable starting unless I see a string of 3 Peyton Manning type performances. I mean, even if he does 2, I'm still not going to feel comfortable.
I'm so disappointed for the Browns and the Browns fans because that would have been a banner win for Peyton and that team, and they should have won the game. They brought it into overtime. They picked him off in overtime. They had it at like the 42, and they went backwards, and then the game was over.
Oh,
so.
then
like
McCown did his best Josh McCown.
I feel like the Broncos.
Denver's defense is ridiculously good. It's ridiculous.
They're winning a couple games that they shouldn't necessarily
maybe,
win.
Winning a lot of
maybe
games
3
they
or
should
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not putting up points, but it doesn't matter. And the pick sixes that they're every week, their defense is scoring points. So
I believe, I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but I saw it on Twitter. People were talking about it. The defense and special teams have scored more than the offense.
yeah, I mean, it's been incredible.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. All right, Eddie Lacy, 4 carries, 3 yards. He pooped his big boy pants. Deion Lewis was 4 for 21 on the ground, 3 for 18 in the air. I looked at this game pretty closely to try to figure out what was going on. There was some reports before the game about Deion Lewis's health. I honestly don't think his health was that much of an issue. This was part game flow. He actually out-snapped LeGarrette Blount still. But, he just wasn't involved in the screen game to the capacity we've seen him in the past. And this is one of the things that happens in New England.
So you're still comfortable with Deion Lewis?
I'm still comfortable with Deion Lewis. Absolutely, yeah. They just locked him up on that contract. Like I said, he was out there more than Blount was, but it just didn't turn out that way. That was LeGarrette Blount's first ever passing touchdown on that broken play where I don't know if you guys both saw it.
He looked good.
He was waving his arms. I'm like, oh, that's where the ball's going because he was open. No one covers LeGarrette Blount out of the backfield. Adrian Peterson had a very day.
High volume, low production.
26 for 60, and they won the game. I mean, no one deserved to win that game, I don't think.
There's a couple of games like that this week where it seemed like neither team really wanted to win.
That's like the fantasy football matchup between, the 2 lowest scoring guys of the week, and you wish you could just count them both as losses against them, but somebody has to win. But, I mean, the Vikings got it done, and the Chiefs are heading for that number 1 pick if they don't change something. I mean, they missed Jamal Charles.
Sharkhandrick West and Niall Davis. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Andy, you said this beforehand, but you didn't think that there was going to be a real true replacement. I mean, clearly last week we don't blame anyone. We said, he's the top waiver pick because there is the chance that you're getting, the starting running back, and that's not found on the waivers. And if he's any good, that would prove valuable to your fantasy team. But they're just not that great a talent. They're not a Jamal Charles himself is an otherworldly talent. Sometimes it's the offensive line that's causing the production, but it was Jamal Charles, and
Yeah.
I don't trust either Kansas City back going forward.
I'm not done with West. I think he still got the majority of touches. Yeah, I think it was touches or snaps. I can't. But I'm not giving up on him after this week. And I think the whoever blew the fab on him might be like, get off of my lineup, and I would scoop him up.
All right, and we don't expect Peterson to continue with these type of numbers.
No.
Wide receiver wise, let me read you 4 names: Jeremy Maclin, Randall Cobb, Antonio Brown, AJ Green, superstar.
Like we all predicted.
Wow.
They buried people this week.
Yeah.
Terrible
Yeah.
games. And, for AJ Green's sake, Marvin Jones, 9 for 91 and a touchdown. It seemed like him and, Jeremy Hill had a passing touchdown. Eifert had a passing touchdown. Jones had a passing touchdown. It just wasn't AJ Green's
Yeah,
week.
if you look at Andy Dalton's line and you go,
No,
okay,
I'm
so
not
AJ
worried
Green
about
had
AJ Green at
had
all.
a great game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, you don't worry about any of these guys. You don't even worry about Antonio Brown.
What
We
about
told you to
Cobb?
sit Brown. Cobb is a concern for a number of reasons. The second straight game where he was very bad. And I told
think it's
Jason during the week.
It's not the third?
Might be.
I think it's the second.
But
I'm going to look.
Cobb has come out and said that his injury is going to last the whole season.
Well, and this is a little bit of a scary proposition than for Emmanuel Sanders, because it's essentially the same type of injury that Randall Cobb had earlier is what Emmanuel Sanders had late in that game. So all the more reason to package away
It's the
Peyton
third.
Manning.
I mean, 5
Yeah.
for 44, 3 for 23, 2 for 38.
10 catches for 105 yards in the past 3 games combined
Since the 3 touchdown
and
game.
no touchdowns. And he said his shoulder remains an issue. Now, you got the bye week. I'm giving him another week to come out after the bye and see if he has a better week. But otherwise, it's, not what you expected as pretty much the number one option for him. So trouble on the Cobb front. Maclin, his stat line was impeded by a concussion.
Yeah, well, they sucked in the entire first half. The Chiefs, man, that they are very disappointing to me. I was very much hoping the Chiefs would be a solid team this year, and it's just
Came to fruition.
Alex Smith, man.
You know what was really
gives and he
frustrating
takes.
was Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce ended up with an okay line, a fine line for a tight end. It wasn't something that you hoped for, but it wasn't awful. All of that, 100% of that production came in the second half.
Yeah.
At halftime, he wasn't – the first half, they didn't even look his way. I mean, they didn't use him at all, and it's just ridiculous. Then they go in at halftime and go, oh, yeah, we got this big, huge guy, explode. If he did that both halves, he would have had an amazing stat line. But that's always been a frustration in Kansas City with Andy Reid, is just he doesn't know how to get his guys involved.